they are never going to stop printing money. So therefore, Bitcoin will never stop going up.
What's next for Bitcoin? Higher or lower? Well, the fundamentals continue to get better. The S&P 500 in the United States just launched a new crypto index consisting of 15 cryptocurrencies and 35 crypto-related stocks, opening up new pools of capital, meaning making it easier for regular, traditional investors to get access to 15 of the top cryptos.
So therefore, Bitcoin will never stop going up.
Meaning the Bitcoin price, given enough time, will continue to go up as the United States dollar, as they inflate the supply, only continues to trend down for purchasing power, as explained by Anthony Pompliano on CNBC today.
And if you simply think of Bitcoin as savings technology, all you have to do is go out, work hard at your job, make money, spend less than you make, and then put the extra savings into Bitcoin, and then allow Bitcoin to benefit from what we know is going to happen, which is they are never going to stop printing money. And I think that that simplicity is actually very attractive to some cohort of investors. And now you see investors saying, wait a second here, this quote-unquote debasement trade means that I don't have to go do all that work. I can simply just go and buy something like Bitcoin. And I think that really maybe the story of finance of this decade is that Bitcoin is becoming the hurdle rate, right? Historically, we've looked at things like the S&P. If you go back to 2020, the S&P is up 100% since 2020. Priced in Bitcoin is down 90%. All of the returns that people are talking about in traditional finance, most of them are negative because no one can beat Bitcoin. And so if you can't beat it, then we just say you got to buy it. And I think that's what a lot of investors are starting to do.
So as more pools of capital open up, the news today is the S&P Digital Markets 50 Index, created in partnership with tokenized company Denari, includes 15 cryptocurrencies with a market cap of at least $300 million and 35 publicly traded companies in the sector with a market cap of at least 100 million, meaning the S&P 500 is actually casting a pretty wide net because crypto's over $300 million. That's a lot of them. We go into the top 100, we look at all the cryptos on the first page. The top 100, the smallest market cap is 1.4 billion. We go to page 2, all the way down to the top 200, the smallest market cap is 480 million. Their cutoff was 300 million, and they're only listing 15 cryptos. Now, the traditional companies, they're pretty obvious what they're listing. They're listing Coinbase, PayPal, and Shopify, which are just crypto-friendly, mining companies, etc. But this is a baby step in the right direction that tells us more pools of capital, more user bases are opening up. I'm going to keep searching for which ones. And this is all while Europeans' central bank president Christine Lagarde, when she speaks, many high-up elites tend to listen. She says, there is no underlying value to Bitcoin.
So can Bitcoin be like a digital form of gold?
Okay.
No.
That's the final answer, right?
Yeah.
Shall we leave it?
You know, I hesitate to say that, but I say it because I have no fear. Because I know that the social media tonight and tomorrow is going to hit me like crazy, because that's the community that they form, and that's the belief that they have, and that's the confidence that they generate amongst themselves. But I still am of the view that there is no intrinsic value and there is no underlying value to it, which doesn't mean to say that there is no hype created as a result, that some can associate with a value, meaning a price, which then moves up and down depending on what happens, who.
Meanwhile, the euro has lost over 40% of its purchasing power in the last 20 years, down 85% since the year 1999 until 2020, and this is even before COVID. After April 2020, they printed so much more money. And then the purchasing power of €1 over time from 2000 to 2024, it's about 60%. So €1 today only buys you 60% purchasing power, 60 cents. So if Bitcoin has no value, Christine Lagarde, then the euro, your euro, must really have no value.
So therefore, Bitcoin will never stop going up.
Make sure you click subscribe to Altcoin Daily so you never miss perspective like this, because this is all as the world's largest financial institutions, meaning banks, are choosing Solana because, and I quote, it's the fastest, cheapest, and most reliable network with the most users. Nick from the Solana Foundation, so he does have a clear bias, explains.
So banks are increasingly building stablecoin capabilities on Solana. You've got Societe Generale that has a MiCA compliant Euro stablecoin on Solana, and they've announced a US dollar stablecoin on Solana. Fiserv, which has 3,000 partner banks, announced that they're building their stablecoin platform on Solana. As you mentioned, Visa and PayPal, PYUSD is on Solana. And why do they choose Solana? They choose Solana because Solana is the fastest, cheapest, most reliable blockchain with the most users. 80 million monthly wallets. In fact, 3 million monthly Circle users on Solana. 3 million monthly active Circle users used it. Sent or received USDC last month and this month. That's a lot. And it's growing, right? And we're still very early. These are small numbers relative to the 8 billion people on Earth. But, these are large numbers and they're growing very, very fast.
Now, Solana is definitely faster. It's definitely cheaper. But does it have the most users? Well, I would think Ethereum would have more users than Sol. And it's actually, if you don't count the Ethereum L2s, meaning Base, meaning Metis, Arbitrum, etc., then Ethereum has less users. Me personally, I would include the Ethereum Layer 2s because that's all part of the Ethereum ecosystem. But either way, banks are choosing both Ethereum and Solana. Now, many people are asking, why is XRP selling off, or is a bigger major sell-off next? They point to social metrics, meaning the community. XRP sees community showing growing impatience, with similar FUD being a good sign of a potential breakout, meaning maybe like the Trump tariffs announcement, maybe a little bottom signal for XRP. Yet most investors aren't seeing this. Once again, XRP takes the spotlight on Germany's biggest national TV, speaking about the upcoming Spot XRP ETF.
XRP steht der Spot-ETF noch in der Warteschlange, aber der Oktober dürfte da dann auch entscheidungsfindend sein. Könnte das möglicherweise durch den Shutdown andere Verzögerungen mit sich bringen?
Könnte sein, aber wir werden sehen, wie sich das auswirkt.
We have fundamental news from Plasma. Now, Plasma is building the infrastructure for Money 2.0, aka a Layer 1 chain built for stablecoins. Their channel sponsor, I did a deep dive on them. I found the next XRP, disrupting the multi-trillion stablecoin market. Link down below. Give this a watch. But the news today is this. We are partnering with Trust Wallet, the largest non-custodial crypto wallet, to get Plasma's stablecoin rails into the hands of everyone, everywhere, meaning the adoption continues. I know some people are trading SWI, trading on exchange partner Wix. Don't forget, if you deposit $100, you get $100, an ETH position airdrop. Now, for those trading SWI, and remember, anything can happen. Crypto, I don't know what crypto is going to do tomorrow, let alone 2 years from now or 2 months from now. But SWI has a clean setup here. This sends straight to new all-time high when it breaks out. And I think long-term, fundamentally, we are starting to see why people are expecting higher eventually.
Amazing upgrades are coming to SWI soon. We've talked about Remora. There's going to be an amazing opportunity to scale SWI even further. But also we have amazing upgrades coming to Mr. SETI and our consensus protocols as a whole. This would take us from the average right now of about 500 milliseconds end-to-end finality to 200 milliseconds end-to-end finality. That is just unheard of. Again, optimistic finality is great. We have the lowest optimistic finality of any ecosystem out there, but real finality, full settlement finality is what really matters in the real world. You want to know from when you've clicked your button to all the way to it executes in a chain and you get finality and then you get a notification back to your app that it's done. That is what really matters for us. And that end-to-end finality is going to be an average of about 200 milliseconds.
Click subscribe so you never miss a video, so you can hopefully make money investing in cryptocurrency this year. And like always, see you tomorrow.